Hello and welcome to Chilled Cardano. We have a very special guest today, Zushan from ADA Ninjaz. He's one of the co-founders, and he's joining me and Mike today. Zushan, how you doing today?
Good, mate. Good, Eric. It's great to be here. Excited to kind of get into conversation and just have a chat. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you.
Exciting.
What was the origin of ADA Ninjaz? How did this all start for you guys?
Yeah. It's wow. Yeah, to think about it, that was in September last year, so it's been a while. But it's been a great journey. So essentially, Tommy, a little bit of background about myself and Tommy, the other co-founder. We're both mates prior to this world. And we both live in Canberra, Australia, and we essentially used to work together here in Canberra in government. And through that, we met, became friends, kind of got into crypto, joined the whole train of shitcoin trading and lost money back in the day, that kind of thing. And just kind of grew from there, gave each other tips, talked about like potential projects to kind of invest in. And then we got into NFTs on Ethereum. But we had bags of ADA. And when we found out, I think around like July or August June-ish, we found out about NFTs on Cardano. So we started checking things out and we were like, wow, this is really cool. And we had been thinking of starting our own sort of NFT business. And we both, have worked in project management quite a bit. I used to work in academia before that, and a lot of policy and marketing. That's sort of where our skills are. But we were like, how do we meet? How do we find some common ground? And we were like, well, we both used to like anime as kids, and we used to read manga and stuff like that. So this is pre-Azuki, right? This is like 4 months before Azuki. So we were like, let's do an anime NFT project. And we're not artists, we're not developers. We don't have that technical knowledge. So we were like, okay, where do we start? Right. Obviously we spoke to, like, we had been in some Ethereum NFT communities and we spoke to some people there, and they kind of said, hey, like maybe you want to find out how to mint on Cardano, that kind of thing. And we just came across Patrick Tobler, an end maker. And at that time, it just been like a month or two since they'd launched.
Wow.
Yeah, so we spoke to them on a call. We had like essentially the whole basic premise of ADA Ninjaz ready, about 2.5, 3 pages of story, the roadmap on what we wanted to create, kind of, having been in entrepreneurship for a while, we were like, okay, we don't know. We didn't realize then that you don't necessarily need to have like a semi-business plan, a marketing plan, all that kind of stuff set up. But it did help us because we did have it.
Yeah, of course.
And we pitched it to them, and they're like, hey, look, it was a different time. So they were kind of like, well, we partner with projects. So Endmaker came on board as a partner, not just us using their minting. Yeah, so they essentially provided us with obviously the minting side of things, but also the front end development, also a lot of networking, and then also advisory. So, kind of weekly catch-ups just to give us tips and things like that. And then with specific mints, work with us, essentially bring, a couple of people on from their dev team full-time to just help us out with the mints and stuff like that. So that relationship's still strong. Yeah. And the main idea for us in terms of ADA Ninjaz was, when I was a kid, if I got to choose what Goku got to do in his story in Dragon Ball Z, that would be super cool, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we wanted to create here. So that's kind of how ADA Ninjas started. So in September, we launched the Discord, and I think like 3.5 weeks later, we launched season 1, and it sold out. And yeah, things just continue to grow from there. And we're still here almost a year later now, still building, still making things happen. So it's been quite the ride. It's been super exciting. Yeah.
That's
That's
amazing.
interesting because usually it's like the artist comes up with the idea and then they're like, I don't know what to do with it. But you guys were like, oh, we know what to do. We just need like the art. We need an idea. But it's awesome coming from like a project management background because you've seen start to finish like how to finish a project and get it out there. And I mean, it really shows with your work. So, and now I mean, like the art is getting incredible. So like it's really nice to see.
Yeah, thanks. So we've got essentially we've got one NFT artist, V, and
Hmm.
he's been with us from right from the start. And he's kind of done as well all of season 1 and season 2, and then aspects of season 3. We've also got 3 manga artists who help who illustrate all our manga, and they came in for the 3rd season
Mm.
to help us make that. So V kind of shifted to animating side of it and making all of that happen. And the 3 artists came in to create all the traits and kind of what the look and feel of the daisuke is. So we've been really lucky on that front. It's been really good, and you know, I think for us, yes, the art is super important, but we're not trying to compete with other art projects because we've predominantly and always been a lore and story
Mm.
project. And
Mm.
that's what we really pride ourselves on, because the third, like our chief creative officer, Ignacio, comes from a background of, film, script writing, a lot of sort of film directing, writing story, and we have 3 writers who work with him. Shout out to Zach, Matt, Nadia. So that's what we really pride ourselves in. And I think a lot of people go, "Oh, it's an anime project," but you know, the art for the NFT collection or something of that sort, and that's fine, right?
Right.
But if you go into our website, you see that it's story first,
Mm.
and it's the story that has enabled us to create the manga, the everything behind the NFTs, the music, and then now, of course, the game and everything that we're doing on that front. Um, but yeah, that's not to say that our artists aren't amazing,
Yeah.
and they put in a lot of time. They put in a lot of time into making all of this happen. V is an absolute beast with what he uh, can create and how quick he can deliver. So
Yeah.
big shout out to him.
How did you guys find him?
Um, to be very honest, we went on freelancer.com and had a competition to see who could create what we imagined the first
Mm.
season of ADA Ninjas to be, and that's how we found him. And he's been working with us full time since.
Nice.
So V's based out of India. Yeah, in September we were like, you know, we love your work. I think we had 220 entries. Tommy and I went through each and every one of
Wow.
them, and we were like, you by far are the one who fits our bill. How would you like to leave all the freelancer stuff and just come work with us? And he said, yeah, I love that. I don't know anything about NFTs. I'm not a very social guy, any of that stuff, but I'd love to do it because like I like anime, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's how he came on. So even if we've done some NFTs like special collections with Billy Martin on our
Mm.
music front and created all that stuff, that's all V as well. And
Wow.
and you know the it's really cool. So yeah, he's been working with us since prior to ADA Ninjas went public. So That's how that's how we found him.
It's so interesting, like how your story kind of just like organically happened between like you and your co-founder, and then just the kind of the way you've assembled your team. And then was there any like philosophical choice for picking Cardano as opposed to any other blockchain? Or what was the thought process behind that?
Oh, 100%, mate. Look, I have already always had, since I got into crypto and, studied things a little bit, tried to understand what it's all about. I've always had a little bit of ADA, and then that continued to grow, right?
Hmm.
And I guess it's the same case with Tommy. The Charles's whiteboard video, seeing, kind of learning about the differences between, say, Cardano and Ethereum and Polkadot and all that. But for me, a few key things. When I was looking, when we were looking at launching ADA Ninjas, we looked at Ethereum and we never looked at Solana. I mean, it just didn't really cross our minds at that
Yeah.
time. It was because we were on Ethereum, and then the second set of kind of like NFTs we found were on Cardano. The first thing was we were looking at community at the first instance, and it was kind of like with Ethereum, it's the market's so saturated. You've got so many people coming in that if we are to launch a project ground up, uh, what is the likelihood that, without any sort of VC backing, without people pumping money in prior to launching, can we make this project successful? Can we partner with people who have a reputation and can help us sort of or guide us down a long-term journey? And for us, that was no, right? We weren't going to put in, I mean, to be very honest, it's not about we weren't. I couldn't have afforded putting in, $50,000 or something to make ADA Ninjas happen. We
Hmm.
had a small initial capital that Tommy and I kind of put in, and we made things happen from there. So that was the that was kind of one thing in terms of community. The other thing with community was when we saw Cardano, we saw people being really, really welcoming. Of course, naturally, with a small community,
Right.
you're gonna find people being far more close knit, and that was something that was really interesting to us, having been through a lot of rug pulls on Ethereum, NFTs, learning the ropes and all of that. But that was really interesting to us, people just being welcoming, happy to answer your questions, not just go to this channel and check it out, like a lot
Right.
of what
Yeah.
you, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was another reason. And then now coming to, I guess, a bit more of the philosophical reasons that you were asking about. Um, Look, I think on Ethereum, where it is at the moment, gas fees is a big problem,
Oh yeah.
and and you have to have enough money to go in and consider minting an NFT on Ethereum, right? What does that do for, say, somebody in the developing world? It kind of
Yep.
cuts you 100% out of discussion or conversation as to even whether you would even partake in that mint. So that's what the case was with us on Cardano. It was like, well, you're always paying such a small fee. This opens up the doors long term, right? When more adoption comes in, there will be a lot more people who would be interested in coming into Cardano, the Cardano NFT ecosystem,
Hmm.
because they can afford it, right?
Yep.
I'm originally from Pakistan, um, and I know that in terms of crypto users over there, it's about 20 million people, which makes it one of like the top 10 countries in terms of
Wow.
population using crypto. But crypto trading is banned there
Okay.
right now because the
Oh,
government doesn't know what to do. So they're like, let's just ban it for
It's
now. But people
incredible.
can still kind of go through. Yeah, yeah. People can go through PvP. on exchanges, all that sort of stuff. So when I look at those people, right, and rest of the world, I'm looking
Yeah.
at South America, I'm looking at the Philippines, I'm looking at Africa, I'm looking at Vietnam. These are like all, so many of these countries, and like countries within these continents have big crypto adoption. Why cut them out of the picture?
Hmm.
So that was
Yeah.
another very important thing to us. And then lastly, of course, we believe in the model. We like how Cardano works, the way it's progressed. I come from an academic background, so I personally like the idea of peer-reviewed
Hmm.
research and then creating something, bringing in kind of private and academia together. And when you mint one NFT on Ethereum, I think that's something like, I don't know what the stat was, like a few days worth of energy
Mm.
uh, from like an apartment in France. That's something of that sort. So that's a lot of energy. For me personally, like we're living in a world where if we want to make a difference for our grandchildren and maybe assist them in seeing their own grandchildren, then something like that isn't suitable.
Right.
And yeah, and that's the 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 fact of the matter, right? I live in Australia. I look at all these amazing island nations around Australia. So I look at uh, Fiji, Solomon Islands, New Caledonia, Papua New Guinea, Tahiti, so many more, right? The Federation of Micronesia. So all of these little islands, Kiribati, and you name them,
Hmm.
uh, they they're living it right now. They're struggling. They don't expect their countries to be around for another 50 years,
Yeah, that's
because
crazy.
every couple of years, a few centimeters or a meter or so of their land is now underwater. So the way that obviously the proof of stake mechanism works, and how much energy is conserved because of that, that's important to me. Like if I was running a traditional business, that's something, if I was selling clothing, right?
Right.
I would never sell clothing that was made via sweatshops in Bangladesh, uh, because of like the treatment of workers there.
Right.
But then on top of that, fast fashion, and you've seen the move away from fast fashion. Big companies like H&M have also started, using materials that can be, that are biodegradable or can be used for longer, and so on and so forth. So it's the same with running ADA Ninjas. I went on a very
No, it's all good, man.
long
No, no,
thing
no.
there, but
Because it's
yeah,
like
that's
I love really like this is one of the things I really like about Ada Ninjas is you guys seem to be a little bit more deeper than most of these projects, and it's like kind of fun to pick your brain and kind of understand your mentality when it comes to the project too, because I think it helps people understand where you're coming from, and also like you're getting like, and this is another reason I really wanted you guys on is your community is so strong, and I think it shows that you really care about people. And just going into your Discord, I mean, you have so many diehard fans. It's incredible, and it just shows to me like how promising your future is for your project. And it's like it's one of the many reasons I wanted to talk to you guys. So it's just fun to see what kind of people are behind the scenes. And yeah, no, it's really interesting.
yeah, it's the Ninjas fam is awesome, 100%. I know they're super dedicated on Twitter. I see all the shills and the tweets and all that, and it's really cool. I absolutely love them. I don't think that half of what we could have achieved would have been possible without them, very honestly. And
Hmm.
that's one of the things that's important to me, that when you're running an NFT business, and I like to say business because
Yeah.
project is like, I could have an art project that I'm doing for fun at home, right?
Right. Yeah. No, I've always
Yeah.
had a problem with that too, where it's like I call it a project too, but it's like I guess you're right. It's more of a business, and I guess it's like my apprehension with calling it a business is I feel like it's so corporate a word sometimes that it like because you guys have so much fun while you're doing this too. Like you could tell you guys enjoy what you do, you know. And it's like when I think corporate, I just think of HR departments, and you know what I mean. Like it's not as fun, you know. So, but carry on, yeah.
That's an interesting one. I haven't thought of it like that, but now that you mention it, yeah, 100%. We've got to find a middle term
Some
then.
middle ground,
Because
right?
yeah, because project is too simple.
It's too whimsy, and it's like we don't take this serious. But it's like, but when you go to ADA Ninjas and you see your white paper in your light paper in your website, I mean, it's so concise and like there's just like I love the foundation and just like because you're right, the lore is so important, and it's like when you see somebody who really wants to get behind it and they see how much work you guys put into it, it's just like, all right, I'm a diehard. Let's go. Like, I'm gonna read everything, and I'm gonna really understand, what this is all about. So,
Yeah, I completely agree. Look, but I did want to talk a little bit, and maybe it's not ADA Ninjas related, but the
yeah.
ecosystem related in general, about that corporate versus casual, and the issue, I guess, that lies within, and the reason why I kind of go, I'd rather say business than
Mm-hmm.
project, because from a perception point of view, when someone's coming in to lead a project and launch a project, uh, if you're saying business, there is this fear, right? Just from
Mm-hmm.
a perspective point of view, like if I'm going in, hey, let's do an NFT business. Okay, if it's a business, I have to be serious about it. I need to know what I'm going to deliver. I'm not just gonna
Right.
and we see this a lot, right? We see projects with incredible art, phenomenal art,
Mm-hmm.
and great marketing coming in, launching, selling out, and then they don't know what to do, right?
Right. That's very true.
Yeah.
It's very true.
It's almost like, now I can't remember who said this exactly, but it's a famous saying from some sort of some historical figure who said, you know, conquering a nation is easy, but ruling it is hard,
Yeah.
right? And and that fits in really really well with this as well, because I believe even in a bear market, and we're seeing this now, right? If you've got the right project, you've got the right hype, and you know how to build like a community, you can
Yeah.
sell out.
Yeah.
uh, it's not hard, to
Mm-hmm.
be very very honest. It's not hard, right? um, if you can do those three things, you've got good art, you know how to communicate and market, and you've built a community. Those are the three things you need to sell out. Unless you do something dumb in between and you kind of go like, I'm going to sell everything for like 10K collection, 250 ADA each,
Right.
then yeah,
Right. Yeah.
but that's a rare exception. um, but what about everything after that, right? We knew, so in our case,
Yeah.
in September, we knew that the moment we sell out, we want to bring in manga artists, we want to bring in writers. So that's
Mm.
why Ignacio, from that very point, because he wasn't working on the project management side of it, right? Because he's our chief creative officer. So from the very start, he was like, okay, if we want to do this manga, I'm going to need this many writers. If we're going to
Mm.
do and this many illustrators, and this is how I'm going to create the workflow process, right?
Right.
And that's what we were working with him on, to make that sort of fine tune that. And of course, you will always change that once you launch, because at the end of the day, there will be elements that work and don't work. But coming up with those strategic plans before you launch is so important. And that's why I think just for a project lead themselves, right? And I say project lead, but yeah, someone running an NFT business, saying business, just psychologically, for me at least, it makes it a bit more serious in the minds of the creators. And we've seen so many projects, and I was actually listening to Dave from Dirtbirds on CJ Lovelace's interview yesterday, and I know Dave fairly well. You know, we love the Dirtbirds. We've been talking for ages, have conversations all the time, and he was kind of saying, if you go back to like September, how many projects are still around?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
very few. And from those projects, from that time, the projects that are still around, that haven't, say, rug pulled or been handed over to the community, how many are still doing things and just building, right? Very, very few. And I think the reason for that is that people come into this space going, we'll make a quick buck.
Right.
Why sit and flip and trade and spend all that time doing, having to do a lot of stuff, having to talk to so many people, study the market, understand what the next big mint is, when we can get someone off Fiverr and create a derivative. There's some good derivative projects on Cardano as well, but I won't take names. Of course.
Let's call them out right now. Here we go.
No, top 5.
I cannot.
I'm just messing around.
I'll do it when this isn't recording.
Right? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but that's essentially, that's sort of my take on the business and project argument there.
No, it's pretty amazing because Phyllis, like just watching you guys work, I'm like so impressed with how much your team's accomplished in the same amount of time as and you'll start to see it, and these are the teams you want to follow, right? These businesses, let's use that, right? These businesses that are coming out and they're just knocking out their roadmap and they're just churning it over and they're giving people things to read, your seasons and your music, and it's so much. It's sometimes overwhelming. How did you guys do this? Like, was it just you and your co-founder, or where does this mentality come from where you guys are you guys working like 15-hour days? Like, what is it? I don't.
Yeah, look, it's a good one, right? Because it's an interesting question and an interesting sort of idea. We've tried a lot of things to see what fits in this market, right? One of the things that we've seen is that the fact of the matter is, having every project will have diehard core community members.
Yeah.
But in spite of that, 95% of the market is flippers. They don't care about what a project is doing if they can sell things off for 5 ADA more. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone's in here to make some money, right?
Yeah.
That's and anyone who kind of says, oh, it's all about the art. Yeah, there are a handful of projects like that are about the art. Ore is coming soon. They're solely about the art, right? But most projects, you're telling me that an 8-bit derivative of an Ethereum project is about the art. I don't believe that, right? It's about the utility attached to the art and the NFT. And it's about what the team is delivering. So that's what we had to look at from the very start. Like I mentioned earlier, we're not artists. So we can't come in, like you said, we can't come in and go, this is what we want to bring to the world, right? Eric, I think you mentioned earlier that artists will come into this space and kind of go, oh, well, I have all this art. Now, how do I make it into NFTs? So there are amazing art projects on Cardano. Obviously, I mentioned upcoming Ore, but also like Jarheads is a great art project. I think El Matador, solid art project. I would even say that at this point, Havoc Worlds is a great art project.
Yeah.
Right. But that's all because they've got artists attached to the project. And I'll say project, fine. Yeah, it's easier to say project. I think it's the lingo, but I would love for people to say business. But anyway, yeah. So if you don't have that, what can you bring? And for us from the start, we wanted to create manga comic. We want to build an animation. That's always been kind of the dream and the target. But what we understood as we started to, dive deeper into sort of the entertainment industry, so that's film, games, music. And what we understood is the first thing that you need is solid IP, right? You need intellectual property that you can take to a film production studio and go, hey, we've got all of this, right? We have, why is it, right? Why is it that nowadays, when you look at film and TV shows, it's just adaptions of books, adaption of book after book after book, rather than original series? Because you've already got so much story there. You've just got to take it and tinker with it. It's a lot easier. It helps with the world, the 21st century, and the fast-paced kind of nature. You want to speed everything up. So that's what we aim to do. So create the music. That gives you additional IP. That gives people a feel of what the world will sound like. Create the art. Obviously, let them visualize it. Add the lore behind all of it. People can, use their creativity to imagine what these things will be and what's going to happen, which is why we created kind of like our wiki on fandom. And you can go there and it's got like 90 or 100 pages now, just with information about different things. And then, some of it was very successful. Some of it hasn't been. The people that love our manga comic, they love it, right? I mean, I personally love it, but most people in this space don't care. The music, the music's really good because a lot of people can just listen to it in the background, right? But as an NFT project that isn't, say, developing technology, right? I talked about Dirtbirds earlier. They have a really good developer on their team, which is why they can create all this amazing tech in the background, and then they can sell that tech or get other NFT projects to pay to use that service if they choose to. So that's a continued source of revenue, right? So you aren't reliant on an NFT drop. How many NFT drops are you going to do? We've done 3. We promised 3 from the very start. It wasn't going to be that we're going to sell you any more than 3 seasons of NFTs. Of course, we have our burn coming up. I'm happy to talk about that later if you have any questions. But just to kind of expand on this, we realized that music is good, manga comic is good. Both of them are integral to what we do, and they help us build that IP element. But from the very start, without ever saying it, we had a game in mind, right? We even had a game developer on our team back in September, and people would ask us like, why do you have a game developer? And we just say no comment, right? And unfortunately, it didn't work out with that game developer, but we were lucky because we got to work with Smokestab who are an indie game development company in Germany, and they worked solely on helping us with the alpha. So that was awesome, right? Now, GameFi is where we see our source, a regular source of revenue. And every project should be looking at something like this. IP is the long-term play, right? You
Right.
build the manga. It can be slow. It doesn't matter, because even when we were doing it on a weekly basis, if you were getting, we don't have the sizes that Ethereum does. So you're never going to get like tens of thousands of people reading a comic, right?
Right.
It's not going to happen. But and we're not VC backed, so we can't exactly spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing it to Web 2 or people outside of Web 3 to promote the comic. So we believe, like, as we've shifted our thinking, take it slow, continue to build the IP. The IP will happen, right? And the IP will play a great role in when we continue our talks with animation studios, when we decide we're going 100% into making an animated series. But it will also help the game.
Right.
Because when you look at a lot of GameFi projects across chain, right? Not on Cardano, because of course on Cardano, GameFi is still super young.
Oh yeah. I feel
But
like
you
it's you
look at
guys, and is there any, like, who else is building a game that's like even remotely close to like an alpha stage? I think maybe like Wolves of Rome, right?
Wolves of Rome. I think there are. I will shout out Crypto Raggies. They've been around for a long time. They have a mobile game, which you can connect to your Cardano wallet. I think there's
Okay.
also Crypto Nitties, both super old school projects. There is X Race, who are actually a community like a rug project that was taken over by the community, and they've created like if you're familiar with Zedrun on Ethereum, which is a horse racing game, so a simulation bike racing game that's live to play at the moment.
Okay.
There are a few more that have some sort of small game with some Cardano integration, but I think in terms of like fully playable stuff with Cardano integration, I think it's just us. I don't know if Wolves of Rome have it yet, but they have everything else in terms of awesome gameplay.
Yeah.
And then the Nitties and Raggies team have their games as well. So I really think it's just those 4 or 5. If I'm missing someone,
Yeah.
I apologize. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I played the game a little bit. It's pretty fun. I like how you integrated like the NFTs with it. But what's like the end vision for the game? Is it going to be like how do you monetize it, I guess?
Yeah. 100. Very, very good question. Right. So I'll give you the end vision first, and then I'll go into the monetization element of it. What we are doing right now is, so we've got our roadmap, and I can share the
Yeah.
roadmap if
Yeah.
you guys would like to
Please.
take a look. Yeah. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'll share it. Sorry to everyone who's listening, but if you want to get to see the roadmap, you're gonna have to watch the Chill Cardano podcast. So make it happen.
You'll have to see our faces.
Go in and watch it. Yeah. But yeah, here it is. So
Perfect.
Yep, we
yeah,
got it.
awesome. So look, what our target was for Q2 2022 was to release the alpha, right? Test Cardano integration. So we did the wallet integration, but we also did the policy ID integration. So if you have a Ninja, you get a skin. So all of that worked well. And then for us to track on the back end, we just had our 24-hour clan wars finish yesterday, and we had about 100 and something people play, and we could check which wallet address scored how many points in the clan wars, and that's how we were able to give out prizes and so
That's
on.
so badass.
So that's what was important. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, right? Because shout out to who is the champion of the first clan wars,
Nice.
repping the Daisuke clan, who won. I think he played somewhere around 2,500 games in 24 hours.
What a beast.
So Who-Man went all out. He is the ultimate champion, and much love to him. So that was the first test. That's what we did. Where are we now? We're at the pre-launch campaign. We are talking to venture capitalists every single day for the funding of our token and the private sale of our token. And we have joined a certain organization and are partnering with them on their accelerator. I can't say who yet, but I think in a week everyone will know. So that's a pretty, them coming on board with us.
Rhymes with Schmoogle. I'm just kidding.
I wish. That would be nice. I don't know though. I don't know if I would actually want such a big corporate.
I don't know if you'd get the love that you would need. They'd be like, who? What?
No, but someone who I guess people in the space do know to some extent. And nice. Yeah, that'll be fun.
There's some alpha.
Then, sorry?
There's some alpha for the fans of the show. Everybody
watching. Exactly. You're gonna find out some really good news really quickly on the Ninjas front. Then team expansion, right? The thing is, we have me, Tommy, Ignacio on our executive. So me, Tommy, and Ignacio. Like I said, right? We have project management experience, marketing experience, story writing, storytelling, all that sort of stuff. We don't have game development experience. And what we've realized is if you want to make a game, it's great to have a company that you outsource the game to. But until you have a CTO who understands how the game side of things works, you're at a you're limited in terms of the scope of what you can achieve. Because I've run businesses, I've run projects, but a game is a whole other undertaking.
Yeah. 100%.
And having a CTO will help us, having another person in the executive who can solely, like we did with our manga and all that stuff, solely Ignacio as someone with experience writing story and creating sort of universes came in and ran that front. Having a CTO to run the gaming front, that's something that we are having conversations with people who have really big reputations in the gaming world to come on as a CTO and to help us build this game. So that's something that we're working on the team expansion side of things, and then obviously the marketing campaign. So we expect this to continue till September-ish. Then we've got our token launch. So we will be, I think it's, I can't share some of the slides just because they're for investors essentially.
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to launch the Ninjaz token. There's going to be a public sale and a private sale. If people go on our white paper, they can see all the figures and everything, and how much of the token is allocated for the public sale and the private sale and all of that. And then, of course, the moment we have our token generation event, the token will be distributed via the airdrop to our NFT holders. And, very, very soon after that, you'll also be able to stake your NFTs. So that will be an instant benefit for all the NFT holders.
Sweet.
Then we want to spend the next 6 months or so just developing the game, marketing it, pushing it up to people. One of the things we get when people ask us when we're talking to VCs, oh, you're launching on Cardano. That's super interesting. I haven't heard of anyone doing that. So there's already this curiosity and interest, right?
Yeah.
At the moment, in terms of games that are backed by VCs in this space, you've got Cornucopias,
Right.
right?
Right.
But that's it. Sure, you've got Iconicus and Virtua, who are more of the soul metaverse plays that are backed by VCs. But in terms of gaming projects that I know of, Cornucopias is the one. So it's interesting to people that we're doing this on Cardano. So we're just going to develop and market, and then the game releases Q2 23, and that's where you have the token integration, multiplayer, NFT items, and so on. And then we want to sort of bring in patches. So I think one of the things that how long? Let's be honest, guys. Either of you or me, how many web browser games are we going to play? Like, not a lot, right?
Right.
There's only so much time that you guys
Yeah.
have, that I have, that you're going to sit on your browser and just play a game. But if it's on your phone and you're commuting, or you want to take a 10-minute break while you're walking around the mall or at the shops or something, you play the game. So that's where the mobile game port comes in, the Clan Wars feature comes in, and then like a spectator feature, because that we think that's important as the game continues to grow. And then the build and earn element. So that's a slide I can show you guys. Yeah. So 6 core features, just to quickly kind of show you. You can already try out the world map, the PvE side of things, and the Clan Wars, right, in the current alpha. Obviously, there's no PvP, so that's something that we want to add. Staking quests, so stake your fungible tokens and your NFTs to earn yield and in-game items, and then the build and earn. So not a metaverse, but rather if you've played kind of like Halo Reach or Minecraft, we're focused on an multiplayer online battle arena style game, so MOBA game.
Okay.
And we know that people in the crypto space don't have a lot of time to do a lot of things, right? They have money, but they generally tend to be somewhere around like at least 25 plus, right? The vast majority of them. And often they have families, so they don't have time. And if they have time, why would I play a crypto game if I can go and play The Witcher on my PlayStation for amazing story experience, right?
Right.
That's what I would use my free time for. So how can you create something that's fun, quick, helps you, rewards you with some token on the side,
right,
but allows you to communicate? So several mini game arenas that are all interlinked through story. So the game that you can play right now, that's one of the hack and slash type of games that we have. When the full game comes out, we want to have at least 6 or 7 of these. And then we introduce the build arenas element, where we provide you with the tools like an editor, and you can create a game of, let's say, ninjas, a platformer where ninjas are jumping off obstacles and running on the walls of buildings to race each other, right? And
that's awesome.
You create that game, and essentially anyone who comes in and interacts with that game and spends with that game, you receive some of the Ninjaz token because you are the one that created that game.
So the person who created that actually gets like kind of like a royalty situation from the people who actually play that one build of that game?
100%. So,
Wow.
you know, transaction fees are always a way for the game developers to make money, right?
Yeah.
Axie Infinity makes all their money off of that. Um, but if you've got arenas, we want to add another layer where, let's say you guys go, hey, we're both going to let's build this game together.
Yeah.
And it's like, think of it like a bowling alley, right? You bought a warehouse and you built a bowling alley. You know, maybe they provided you with sort of, we'll give you the lighting. Here are contractors who you can get in touch with regarding where to set up the whole business, where to get your fixtures and your office stuff. And then people come in and play. So you keep paying those guys rent
Right.
for the warehouse, but you're making money off all the attendees. And here, it's kind of the same. I mean, you don't necessarily pay rent, but you also get a percentage from the percentage that we get from those transaction fees. So that's one way that both us and the community get to kind of earn token together.
Right.
The other thing for us that we are going to do is and because it's lots of mini games, right? Let's say you have an hour in a day, you can go play for 20 minutes, try out 3-4 different games, and then be on with your day.
Right.
So if you have 50, 100, 1,000 of these games, it opens up a much larger sort of audience, and that's what we want. But behind all of it is the asynchronous clan wars element, and that's where the lore and the story comes in. You're always repping your clan. And if your clan wins, let's say 1,000 people fought for Aramar and Aramar won, then there will be a small percentage of token dropped to everybody who participated within that time.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's a thing in terms of how people playing can make token. In terms of what we can do, obviously the transaction fees, but also creating what you would call traditionally downloadable content. So if you hold an NFT, for example, right, maybe you'll get access to these additional arenas that no one else can access free of cost. But if other people want to access it, and let's say the let's say the NFT has a floor of, you know, like the RMR at the moment have a floor of like 120 ADA. So maybe that's a bit steep for some people, right? But they can go, hey, I can pay 40 ADA to get this downloadable content and play it. So I'll pay that 40 ADA instead of buying the NFT. But people who have the NFT just get access to all these additional small games.
Oh,
and
nice.
Some of them may have like a quest that's closely related to the lore of the game, something of that sort. So it's like this extra thing which we will build to attract people to come in and kind of buy it. Another thing that you can take from sort of the metaverse and sandboxes kind of world is advertising, right? There is a lot of money in that, but imagine that you've got this arena from our current alpha in the city, right, in the clan wars, and instead of this random Japanese text that you've got here, which I actually don't know what it says, our animator put that there, so I should actually ask. I wonder what if he's like trolling all of us.
Right.
That would be funny. But instead of that, imagine you have a brand up there. So if you've got, we will be able to collect data from this game that allows us to see what kind of people are playing what kind of game, right?
It's incredible.
And then advertisers will be able to come in and go, hey, I think these arenas are the ones that we're attracted to.
Right.
So let's put our billboard there for, and we negotiate a deal. So there are elements like these are the elements that we are thinking of, and a couple of others that I can't really talk about until they're set in stone. But that's kind of what we're looking at. So that's where we are with the game and with the roadmap. And eventually, you know, we look at kind of cross-chain, because the future of blockchain is cross-chain.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, another expansive rundown on what we've got going on.
Oh, that's it? That's all?
Great.
No, that's incredible. Do you want to talk about the fourth at all? The burning?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The fourth has been a plan from the very start.
Okay.
We knew about what the fourth is and the story of the fourth before we even knew the names of the clan leaders of the 3 seasons, of the 3 clans. So Josephine, Lady Josephine for the RMR, Samael for the Atsuko, and Made for Daisuke. These names came way later, but we knew what this whole fourth thing was about. When we decided to go with this number of NFTs, you know, we thought, there was a time we thought, what if we go, season 1 has the most, season 2 has less, and then season 3 has the least. But in terms of what we were building, and in terms of how the community was talking, and how much they love their clans, right? We were like, we've got to make it fair for everybody. But in the short term, sure, people look at ADA Ninjaz and go, because obviously in this space, as much as we don't personally care, things like floor and volume matter, right?
Yeah.
That's the fact of the space. And you can see projects in the top, I would say 40, who have delivered nothing, but they just blew up at mint time and did, you know, millions in volume, and now they fizzled out. So
peace out.
Yeah, or they just like, we don't know what to do yet because we don't have that experience, as we talked about earlier.
Right. Yeah.
So the fourth allows us to do several things. Give back to the holders with something that was not expected for them. Add to our lore and introduce something even more special. Provide better rewards to everyone who chooses to burn. And the rewards come via staking and airdrop and so on. And probably my favorite part, right? Where the community has to make a decision. Am I burning solely for the financial side of it? Because if you burn, because you have to burn 4 ninjas, right? One of each clan is a must, but the 4th one is up to you. So that's the gamification of it.
Yeah.
You have to decide what the 4th one is. Now, will it be the hearts or the minds that will decide what the fourth burn is? There are lots of people who are like, man, I just don't want to burn my said NFT because I love the art, or I have this connection to that. People have made stories about these characters, you know, we have on our wiki, there's tons of fan fiction. People have named their characters, given them backgrounds, how they joined the clans, all of that. So there is this attachment, right? But maybe the rank of that NFT in terms of rarity is like super low. So from a financial perspective, if you're burning it, you're going to get much better reward by having the 4th. You don't want to burn, say, Daisuke because it has the best art and it's all animated. But you hold so much Daisuke that if you burn half of your own collection, it'll make Daisuke rarer than the other clans and scarcer. So eventually, one would expect in a situation like that for the value to go up in the long run, right? Because just based on simple economics and scarcity and so on. So we're giving people a lot of decisions here to make, and
I love that.
But from a simple point for anyone who doesn't know what the burn is that you have to hold 4 ninjas, one from each of our 3 seasons, and then one of your choice. On the 30th of August, you will send all 4 to a dead wallet or a burn wallet. This wallet's info will be removed forever. No one will hold it. So like the password and the seed and all of that. And in return, you will get a collection, an NFT from our new collection called The Fourth. This is integral to our story. But if you are burning 4 NFTs, it's of course a big decision, right?
Oh yeah.
If you look just at mint prices and you're going season 1, season 2, season 3, and season 1, that's somewhere around 200 ADA worth. So you want to make sure that that 4th NFT is good for you from a financial perspective. Well, if you're burning 4 NFTs and all 4 NFTs, regardless of clan, are below the 2000 rank, so rank 2000 to rank 8,888, if all your NFTs are in between those rarities, you will always get more staking and airdrop returns from the 4th. So basically, if you have 4 NFTs under those, under the 2000 rank, just burn them. If it's just about, that financial perspective for you.
Right.
What we are adding to this NFT collection, we have something cool going on at the moment where if you go into our Discord and verify that you hold a ninja, you can then go into this channel and all you have to do is react. And what that will tell us is you would like your Discord username to be featured as one of the NFTs asset names in the collection. So you will immortalize yourself in our collection. So that's just something fun, kind of to really go, you are the community, you've helped us build this world. So jump on in and make this happen. Another thing we will be doing, which is quite unique and we're pretty excited for it, is that all of the NFTs will have the 4 NFTs that you burnt in the subfiles of the main 4th. So they will also live on. They will live on to know which ninjas were sacrificed to bring the 4th. Yeah.
Dead names.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And their asset numbers will be put into the metadata and all of that. So that'll be there as well. So that's essentially what we're doing. We are also on the 16th of August, because all these numbers can complicate it for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
We are releasing a burn calculator. So you will just go onto our website, input which NFTs you hold. So let's say you hold RMR 1, 2, 3, 4. You put that in, you put the other 3 ninjas in, and it'll tell you how much staking rewards you'll get for those 4 versus the 4th, and how much airdrop claim rewards you'll get versus the 4th. And then it'll kind of say burn or do not burn. And that'll help you make your decision. And we'll also have a Discord bot version of it. If you prefer being on Discord, you can just go do that in our Discord. So that'll help people understand how to go about it. But yeah, it's super cool. It's super exciting. We have a lot of it. excuse me, involved like a lot of lore and story involved in it. And this is essentially the pinnacle of our NFT story and the culmination of everything we've done so far on the NFT front, and almost like the completion of the cycle. So a lot of fun things going to happen. There are some other things that I can't say yet, but people are going to be shocked and excited when they see some of the actual art release, which will start at some point next month. We're not too far away.
I mean, what you guys did with the third season is amazing. So I can't even imagine what the fourth will be like. But also, how long is that window open to get a fourth? Like, is it just going to be open ended for people who come down later in, like they find ADA Ninjaz in a year's time? Like, are they able to do that, or like, is it a closed window for this to happen? What are your guys?
So there are 2,222 NFTs in the fourth collection. So you've got to burn 4 NFTs. So essentially, 8,888 NFTs will be burnt.
Yeah.
Until they are burnt, it's open.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a first come, first serve. I think we know, at least based on discussion and like rough calculation, I know of at least 5,000 NFTs being burnt fairly quickly.
Wow. It's incredible.
Yeah, and this is just from Discord conversation. So it may take a while, it may not. Initially, a lot of people were like, the burn will take a while, but now as the info is coming out, a lot of them are like a day, 2 days, tops, got to get in early, FOMOing in. So, but yeah, it's open. It's essentially open for, first come, first serve until all the NFTs have been burnt.
And is it just, you just have to send like one ADA as well, or you have to send a certain amount?
So we will, I think is it 4 ADA to send the NFTs over, but whatever the cost is, and then you get that back as a refund anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. So you send your 4 NFTs plus the ADA, and then with the 1 NFT, you'll get the NFT plus the ADA back. Just so, obviously, it doesn't cost us a big chunk to send all of those out. And yeah.
Are there going to be some one of ones? Sorry.
Go ahead, Eric.
Are there going to be some one of ones?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, absolutely. Not just some, the most in any collection yet. And considering that it's a significantly smaller collection, we've got 5 in each collection. So 5 out of 8,888 versus more than 5 out of 2,222.
Pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good odds. Well, better odds for sure.
Will the fourth have their own clan in the game, or how will they? Or is that not? Have you guys not talked about that yet? Is that something you could talk about?
No comment.
It's a good question.
Very cool. I'm very excited for that.
All will be revealed in like 2 to 3 weeks. What is the fourth? Is the fourth a clan? Is the fourth an enemy? Is the fourth something else? Is the fourth multiple clans? Is the fourth no clan at all? What is going on? What does it have to do with the Aramar, the Daisuke, and the Atsuko? Well, yeah, we'll find out very, very soon. We are actually sitting down on Monday, sort of like the management team, to have like a huge brainstorming session, because we've got all this story that we will be explaining to bring in this fourth collection over the next month. But our manga story is nowhere close to that yet. So what we are going to be doing is like a non-canon version of it. Okay. So it doesn't fit into what's happening in the manga, comic, and the overarching story. But we're going to have like a whole internal workshop on how to make sure it's non-canon, make sure how do we market it, how do we get the community involved, and gradually drop information over the next like 3.5 weeks in the build up to the burn. So yeah, I think about 4 or 5 days from now, we're going to start dropping all that info because we have all of the information. Now it's just about, again, getting it in that like workflow process. So it's going to be really, really cool. I just can't say whether they're going to be in the game or what they are or anything yet.
Okay.
But you'll find out very soon.
Yeah, awesome. Very excited for that. Do you guys plan on releasing more music?
Yeah, so the Atsuko, Alpha, Atsuko song, less than 2 weeks to go till it goes live. So this is, for everyone listening, this is the first place you've heard it. So spread the word, share it with your friends, tell them to not just listen, but also watch the Chill Cardano podcast. That's what's up.
And like, of course.
Subscribe, share it with your friends.
Smash that like button.
If you have alt accounts, if you have alt accounts, go and like and subscribe as well. Make it happen.
Let's get those bots out there.
So yeah, we do have a song. It's a rap song because the community works through the whole process. This one's really interesting because so how our music workflow. I don't know if you want me to tell you a little bit about that, but how the process is, I'll be happy to. Yeah. So what we essentially do is first we'll go in with our partners at Mirai Music. We'll go in and we'll ask, what genre do you think fits the Atsuko? Tell us on Twitter. People will share songs and examples. So we'll pick like the top 3 or 4 most voted on. And we will then, Mirai Music will create like 3 or 4 beats. And then which of these 3 or 4 types do you like the most? So then they'll go, okay, this fits the clan. Boom, done. Here is a snippet. If you were to write the lyrics, what would they be? Everyone come in, write the lyrics. People will vote on the lyrics, the ones with the highest sort of votes. We will then work on sort of editing those and then kind of fitting them in and making sure they align and that kind of stuff. So that's the next thing that'll happen. And third, and then following that, it's what we've done this time around is actually, if you have a musical talent and you hold some of our music passes, which were like a limited 500 NFT release, you will actually feature, you can produce something in the song, you can play the guitar, so on and so forth. So we've got a couple of community members who have worked on some of the production side of it and will be credited, including everybody who wrote the lyrics. They will also be credited. So if you listen to the RMR song on, I think Spotify doesn't allow too many credits, but like Tidal and some others, if you go there, they're like 6 community members also credited for the song.
That's forever too. That's so badass. It's like they're part of the lore forever of this ADA Ninjaz.
Yeah, exactly. And they've worked on it, right? Like you're not just voting. Like if you're just voting on it and you get to then listen to it, what's the difference between Web 2.0 and Web 3.0? Right? We want to try and make it as interactive as possible. And obviously, eventually, you'd hope to be able to do all of this on the blockchain itself.
Yeah.
So the song is a couple of weeks away. We've got some really big... And another thing we do is we then go find out musicians and we'll do Twitter spaces with them. And then the community will decide if they sort of feel that artist vibing with that song. And then we'll bring the artist on or not. So we've got 1, 2, 3, think four artists on this track. One of them, Lenny, who is she's a huge producer. She's produced songs for like really big artists. I can't remember, but we're talking like top Billboard artists. She's in the track. We've got Echo, who's an Aussie rapper. I don't know if you know about Kid Lorai. He's a pretty big rapper at the moment. Aussie kid. Echo's his uncle, who's been on the underground rap scene for a long time. We've got Latrice, who's another rapper in the US. And we've got Lula, who's a singer with an amazing voice based out of LA. So the four of them will be on the track. And yeah, it sounds really good. I've heard the final version. I'm just saying, I'm a hip hop head. I love my rap.
Yeah,
So
same.
for me, it's my favorite track,
Mm-hmm.
100%. I absolutely love the feel of it. In terms of the style of the song, yeah, you've got a super catchy chorus. It's about the Atsuko clan and all of that, but it's also got this gritty element to it, where you're going kind of semi underground to like artists like Jedi Mind Tricks and Immortal
Mm,
Technique, and kind of down that
nice.
path as well, but it's still catchy enough to be more mainstream.
Yeah.
And that fits really well with what the Atsuko are as a clan. Um, so we're, yeah, really excited. Can't wait to get it out. It's going to be fun. I'm already pumping it in my car and stuff. Yeah, so very soon. We're going to do that one. And we've already started the basic initial conversations for Daisuke. Um, we want to bring someone really big on for
Okay.
Daisuke. And it's someone specific that we are targeting. But the thing with bringing someone really big on is either you do like 100,000, at least like a 250 to 500,000 ADA drop with them, or
Yeah.
you pay them that money upfront,
Right.
right? That's
Right.
the reality of it. Because when you're a big artist, for you, it's like if I spend 3 to 4 hours working on this and I make 500,000, that's a good deal for me.
Right.
I don't care about as long as the project has a reputation. Okay, cool. That's it. I don't care about anything else.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
how artists in this space function.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're really passionate about it. But even those who are really passionate about it, it's often about just how much money can I make, how quickly, right?
Yeah.
So so that's what I think is always the biggest barrier. Whereas bringing in smaller artists and introducing them to the NFT space. So like with the RMR song, we obviously had Billy Martin, who everyone knows, and Cardano from Good Charlotte. He played the guitar. He already knows the space. But we had Katie Bell, who was on American Idol, and she has like a few million views on her songs on YouTube. She didn't know anything about NFTs.
Yeah.
So to bring her in, some of her community in, get them interested, and then we had Iago, who's a Welsh singer. He sang for like Disney and stuff. He was big in the Ethereum space, just as a trader. So for him to bring him into Cardano, that was great. So that's another thing that we try to do with this, where we bridge that gap between community and for like Web3 and non-Web3 community, and kind of try to introduce them to what's happening.
So you actually educate the artists too, to kind of let them know what's going on. And
100%. So in our RMR Music Pass collection, we had 500 NFTs, from which 470 were for 50 ADA each. They gave you a whole bunch of utility. They also gave you a free Daisuke, stuff like that. And then
wow.
we had 30 NFTs, 10 for each artist. So 10 of Billy, 10 of Katie, 10 of Iago, and these were auctioned out. The Billy's ones were auctioned out on his Discord for the Occult Archive server, and we split the profits 50-50, right?
That's awesome.
Between us and the artist. So by doing that, we had to teach him how to, well, not in the case of Billy, but the other two, how to create a Cardano wallet, how to transfer that money to, you know, your DEX, whichever exchange you're on, and then to pull it out into USD, or if you want to hold on to it, how to put it into a staking pool, and so on. So we did that whole education piece with them. I think we had, especially with Katie, because she didn't know anything about the space, like about 2 or 3 hours of calls prior to her joining in, just explaining how everything works. And that was a win for us in itself, that we got one other person to kind of promo and share it with their fans and community.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So
do you see that like continuing to, when you bring those people in, do they stay in contact with you, and do they want to keep, are they like, wow, this is an actual real revenue that I could be bringing in for myself, and like they want to work with other teams? Or are you seeing that? Or like once it's over, they're like, all right, bye, peace, I got my money, I'm good?
No, I don't think it's either. It's funny you mentioned that. Like, as we were talking, Iago just messaged me on WhatsApp. So, so we do keep in touch.
That's awesome.
Keep in touch.
That's badass.
100%. He's actually he has amazing alpha on crypto and NFTs. So he's always like, bro, go check out this NFT. Maybe you want to get in. Like it's gonna pump.
It's gonna.
So he's always he's always giving me really good alpha. So I appreciate him. But I don't think we've had enough people yet, and with the current market as well. A lot of like no one's really gone, hey, we want to, you know, continue doing this, or we want to make a full collection yet. But you know, maybe we go through like 10 artists, one will say now I'm going to start my own thing on here. They love the idea of it. They love the fact that they don't have to sign their life away to a label 5-10 years from now, and that they'll get royalties on their music forever. But it is complicated, and we're not quite there yet ourselves, right? Within the Web3 ecosystem. So it'll happen eventually. Like, a lot of them are watching, a lot of them are interested. Let's see what happens. But they're definitely, you will find more and more of them. I also think that the Cardano community has amazing musicians on the blockchain already too. I'm a huge fan of Nito. If you know Nito is awesome. Huge fan, awesome guy. I can't, for the life of me right now, I cannot think of other musicians. Flat Dark Earther, he's amazing. He's got an awesome rap album. And shout out to one of our own community members, Crypto Jesus, just dropped his full album on Cardano as an NFT, and you can go buy that right now. So big shout out to him. It's like 15 or 20 ADA. So yeah, lots of good artists on Cardano already as well.
Definitely. I also make music, but I have not released anything on Cardano yet. So keep an eye out for that, guys.
What sort of music do you make?
I make hip hop.
Oh yeah, for real.
Illinois was my rap name first, and then I started doing crypto, so that's why my name's Illinois on Twitter.
So do you produce as well, or?
Yeah, I make beats and I rap over my own beats, and
right.
I'm not at the level of all the people you're working with, but yeah, it's definitely a hobby of mine.
No, but that's awesome, man. I'd love to listen to some of your stuff. What sort of genre within hip hop is it? Are you more into like the intense underground kind of stuff, or is it more lo-fi, or are you more into kind of the stuff that I'm not really into, which is like the littles of the world nowadays.
No. It's funny you mentioned Immortal Technique, because he was like one of my biggest influences. So I don't know. I would say like I'm more like a little bit like Lupe Fiasco, J. Cole, like that type of. I'm more
King
like
Cole. Yeah, that's my guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm more like, subversive underground type rap with a message. More
conscious rapper about the lyrics.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that. I used to do a bit of hip hop and spoken word as well, and maybe or maybe not. There is an Atsuko track with me on it as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
More alpha.
So, yeah. So
awesome.
That's awesome, man. We should definitely connect on that front. You should just drop an album. I can link you up to like CNFT Audio and some of those other guys from the music community on Cardano, and just make it kind of happen, man. I think we need more music in the space, and coming from like creators who are already, and just people who are in the space, is even more important in my opinion.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Incredible. This has been an incredible interview. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I'd love to see. I'd love to have you come back on in about maybe later on in the year, and maybe get an update on what else is going on with you guys, because you guys always have something coming on. So.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. I'm always also just happy to come on and talk Cardano NFTs if you want to.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I like doing that. I can talk about non-ninja stuff all the time. As well. Shout out some of the projects that I love. I have like somewhere around like 200 plus Cardano NFTs. Hold my buds and my clays. I recently joined the Faha 100 as well. So I'm in there chatting with those guys. And then just like the projects I support, quite a few of them. I don't really flip. I have flipped a few projects, but we can keep that for a discussion another time. I know that we talked for a while. I could keep going, guys, and I know it's getting late on your end. So thank you so much for having me. Absolute pleasure. And yeah, thanks for connecting. Excited to kind of see you guys around for the burn and stuff. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And for everyone watching or listening, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, get your alt accounts and bots to do the same. Share it with your friends. Chill Cardano podcast, ADA Ninjaz. This is where it's happening.
Oh yeah, man. Is there anything you want the people to follow too? Your Twitter or
yeah, come on to our Twitter. Just ADA Ninjaz on Twitter. All the info's there, or just go to adaninjaz.com. All the info is also there. Check it out, and you can always DM us on Twitter or join our Discord and ask us questions. You can ask me a question. I'm not a very I'm one of the bosses, so you can't talk to me. I talk to everybody. I'm really chill. So you can ask me anything you want as well. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Great to be here.
Incredible. Thanks
for coming again. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye.